Hi guys, this is Sunny D Curls. I've I've already finished voting today, November 8th, 2016. Um, you know, I did vote Democrat, and um yes, I actually voted for Hillary Clinton. Um, Now I'm still nervous about this election. What I believe some Republicans have tried to do is discourage younger people my age to not vote. They've been trying to make us feel very depressed. Like lately, I've been very, very depressed about the anti-transgender bathroom bill. Possibly, um, you know, and basically a lot of Republicans. I would say some Republicans um you know try they try to discourage the younger people from voting um because of their LGBT hate and transgender hate, trying to keep transgender people from using the restrooms that correspond with their gender. Some Republicans are voting Hillary, though, which will strengthen her and weaken Trump. However, there's still a lot of people voting for Trump. So basically, like, I'm a Democrat. I still voted Democrat. Unfortunately, on the ballot, there like there were like it seemed like Republicans refused to allow a lot of Democratic people from being voted, like for Senate and representative, and judges and stuff like that, like, which I believe personally ought to be Democrat. But I'm not trying to persuade anyone. I'm not trying to sway anyone towards Democrat, or I'm not trying to, pull people one way or the other. It just wasn't fair because there needed to be more choices. Like, my ballot, sadly, I did not see anything about public transit, but I did see something about public service and um, something else. And I'm not going into detail about everything, but I voted anyways. Like, I know that the Republicans are trying to discourage younger people who typically vote Democrat from ever voting, but I came and voted anyway, damn it. You are not discouraging me from voting. I voted. This says so. So, there's no purpose in trying to discourage people. We're still gonna vote, even if we feel discouraged or depressed. like I said, a lot of like I want transgender people to be allowed to use the restroom, which corresponds to their gender identity. That does not imply that a man just follows an innocent little girl into a stall and rapes her. Because that is ridiculous. Who does that? And another thing is, I believe, you know, that women should have choice what to do with their body. Like, um, like who would I be? Who would I be to tell women what they can and cannot do with their babies? Like, I understand choosing life if that's what you want to do, and I understand also just choice, if that's what you want. Now, see, I've also been really nervous about, and I think this is normal, like, but I've been really nervous about if Trump's, if he were president. I really don't think he's gonna win. It's either gonna be Hillary, it's gonna be somebody other than Trump. But the scary thing is he could have access to the nuclear codes, and we don't need a World War III fought with nuclear weapons. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Um, I voted because I tried to remain optimistic. I was very depressed, for many reasons, and one sad thing about public transportation is that it potentially may not make it to Gwinnett or Cobb County, but it also may in the future. Just who knows if that was really. Anyway, I didn't see that on my ballot, so I was just very scared. So basically, guys, this doesn't imply that terrorists are suddenly going to transport anywhere they want to. Look, regular people, no matter race or skin color, just want to be able to go from place to place more conveniently. Like, we just want to be able to ride places, we just want to be able to ride places like everyone else. So, I mean, they want to. Everybody just wants to. That's why I'm worried if it doesn't get to Gwinnett County or Cobb County. I'm just saying, hopefully that'll happen. Now, I'm not complaining about how I wasn't represented on the ballot. I just noticed how I requested Democratic ballot, and sadly saw a lot of Republican things, but I'm not complaining too much about how I'm not being represented. I mean, you can't always get everything you want. you just have to act. You just have to be mature. So I voted, even though I'm a young person who typically would vote Democrat because that's just how a lot of people my age think. So for older people, Republicans who didn't want me to vote, too bad. You can't always get what you want. And this is a fact of life. I have a great analogy. On Halloween, we don't always get the candies we want. So that means you just have to suck it up. I'm not telling that in a bad way. I'm just saying, even though I would typically vote Democratic, but I know, I can't, there's no going back, so, you can't, you just can't pitch a fit because there's nothing you can do about it. Just like when I voted, there's the Republican boxes. There the ones that were only Republican. Sadly, unfortunately, I just felt very very unrepresented, and a lot of people were unrepresented. Because it was just not there was just no choice. I mean, there was a write-in thing you could check, but I just didn't want to waste any time. I could have taken the time to write in, but I wanted to get it finished. So, anyways, I'm not complaining about not being represented. I'm just saying it wasn't. I'm really saying it's not fair to try to, not allow people other than Republicans to vote, because because why? Because obviously, are you just afraid of losing power? And I think that's probably the answer. So, I would like transgender people to be allowed to use the restrooms and locker rooms which correspond with their gender. I would like women to be able to choose either choice or life. I understand choosing life if that's what you want to do, or making choice if that is what you want to do. And I really want religious freedom for not only Christians but Muslims, which doesn't imply that Christians no longer have religious freedom. And I do really want public transportation being expanded, which were on some of the ballots, but not others, not my particular one, but I'm sure that plenty of people voted for a lot of this good stuff. And then the fifth main thing I really hope will be one of the fifth of the five main things that I hope will be the outcomes of this election, hopefully, would be same-sex marriage, that it continues, since, because it's already been, June last year, 2015, so I'm hoping that continues because I believe in love and marriage, because, so that does not imply that heterosexuals are no longer allowed to get married, but they can still have a civil union but not call it marriage, if that makes any sense. I just believe in marriage and love for all. So those are the 5 main concerns I have. I voted, and I really do have these concerns. They're not going away, even though I voted, which means I'm still trying to remain a little optimistic. Not entirely, to be honest, I'm not really that optimistic. We're not that hopeful. I mean, I feel like some Republicans' strategy is just to make younger people who typically vote Democrat, feel like it's like their individual vote is not counted. But in reality, no matter what they say, all votes are counted. And speaking of which, the increasing number of Democrats, so it is still looking, a bit hopeful in, this election so far. It's very close. So who knows who wins this time. I feel as though a lot of people on both sides, some people on the Democratic side and the Republican side, both forget that they're not the only ones voting, or they're not the only ones who can vote, and they're not the only people who dictate what's going on. Either way, like there's just stupid people on both sides. On both sides, you have some people who pitch a fit or cry over not getting exactly what they wanted. So, and that's it. And then trying to keep people, trying to oppress marginalized groups and discriminate against them, which is just very immature. I mean, but on both sides, some, just, it's like apples and oranges, or like discrimination against transgender people and discrimination against Christians. And in the end, everything will be alright, but I wanted to I'm still concerned, and this fear does not go away, that it may be the last time or anyone else in history in America, their last freedom of speech. So I better exercise this freedom now before it goes away. But I think that's ridiculous, but it's still somehow something I'm afraid of. I don't know. Because like because politics, because some people are so opinionated that a lot of people don't get to say what they want. Um, so maybe it may not really look anything like that. I hope that a lot of people voted for you know like voted for special needs and public transportation and stuff like that. Um, in closing this video, I'm gonna say hope a lot of young people who would typically vote Democrats still decided to vote. Just get the guts to vote anyway. I'm hoping that's what I hope that's what a lot of us decided to do anyway, despite being bullied or intimidated by Republicans and being unrepresented by them. Just So that's the end of this video. This has been another vlog with Sunny D Curls. That is a wrap. Sayonara.